Okay.
I am a bunny. I will catch you. I run fast because I am a bunny. Is that what it says?
Almost, yeah. It says if you run away, I will run after you.
Oh, yeah.
For you, my little bunny.
Well, if you run after me, then I will become a fish.
You're right, honey.
Well, if you become a fish, I will become a fisherman. And I fish for you.
That's right.
So there he is, fishing.
That's exactly right.
This is the only way I do actually. If you become a fisherman, then I will be a mountain climber. Well, if you be a mountain climber, I will get a mount, and then I will come and catch you on the mountain.
That's exactly right, honey.
Wait, did I skip a few pages?
No, there's the mountain. There's the bunny hiding on the mountain.
Well, if you become a I'll come be. I'll be a flower, hidden in a hidden garden. Well, if you become a flower, then I'll become a gardener.
There they are.
Well, I'm gonna start reading.
Okay.
Well, if you wait, where's that page?
Mm-hmm.
If you become a flower in the garden, I'll be a bird.
She says they all become a tree that we come home to.
Then I'll become a tree that you can home to. You see, it's so pretty.
That's exactly right.
Well, if you become a tree, then I'll become a sailboat. Well, if you become a sailboat, then I'll be wind.
That's right. And there she is, blowing a little sailboat.
I just like to bunny. Well, if you become a wind, then I'll become a circus performer. Well, if you become a circus performer, hey, look at the Z.
That says trapeze.
Then I'll become a trapeze walker.
And there they are.
Yeah. Well, if you
Oops, we skipped. But there's the trapeze.
You don't have to see for it. Did you know this pictures in black and white? Oh, I'm not going to let you see the ones. I'm only going to let you see the pixels.
Oh, okay.
Well, if you become a tightrope walker, I'll become your little boy and jump into the house. Well, if you become a little boy, then I'll be your mother.
Oh, yep, there they are again.
Well, if you I'll be hiding in a little nest, right in a little grass. So I'll wait for you and I'll cook cakes.
And there they are. Is that the end?
Yeah.
Okay, well here, let me read a book to you.
But I can still read here.
Did we read the, we did read the mitten.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. gotta read.
Wait, I'm gonna have to film two parts.
We're supposed to read every single day. Oh, that was. Oh,
I want to read it all again.
with the fuzzy blanket.
Yeah. Actually, I don't.
Okay. How about come clean for school? We didn't read this.
Actually, I like that one.
Which one?
One you just missed. One you just missed.
Slumber party.
Yeah, no, I bet
Okay.
that
Here, give me that book, please. It says the Bernstein Bears.
Bernstein.
Honey, it doesn't look like it spells
B.
Berens. It says Berenstein.
And then bears.
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 And the slumber party.
Yeah.
I think they're going to make a lot of trouble.
Oh, yeah, they are.
One of the most interesting things about a telephone is that when it rings, sometimes you don't know who's calling until you answer it. Sometimes when the phone rang in the bear's treehouse, it was for Papa. Papa Bear is a furniture maker, and customers often call about buying a table or chair. Sometimes it was Grizzly Gran calling Mama about getting together for a visit. When the call was for Brother Bear, it was usually Cousin Freddie with a question about homework. When it was for Sister Bear, it was almost always her best friend, Lizzie Bruin. And Lizzie almost always had some big idea, a tea party for all their stuffed animals, going to the attic and dressing up in grown-ups' clothes, or organizing a sorority and using Farmer Ben's old chicken coop as a clubhouse, with permission, of course. But today, Lizzie was calling with her best idea yet, a slumber party. Tonight at your house? Great idea, said Sister. Just a few of my dearest friends, Lizzie continued. You, of course, and Anna, Millie, and Queenie. Bring your sleeping bag. Anna and Millie are bringing some music, and Queenie's going to teach us the latest dance steps. I don't know, Mama Bear said. You've never slept away from home before. Said, oh, but I have. At Grizzly Gramps and Gran's one time for a whole week. Said, that's different. Gramps and Gran are family, close family. The Bruins are neighbors, argued the sister. Close neighbors, please, Mama. It'll be such fun. Anna and Millie have great music, and Queenie is going to teach us the latest dance steps. Please, Mama. Oh, I suppose it's all right, sighed Mama. Come on, let's start getting you organized for the slumber party. You know, she said as she checked out Sister's sleeping bag, it still had some leaves stuck to it from a family sleep. Sleeping over at a friend's house is kind of a special privilege. And something that goes with privilege is responsibility. Do you know what those words mean?
Yeah, responsibility means like you're responsible for something.
Yeah.
And not lose something.
That's right. So she said, sure, said Sister. Privilege means being allowed to do stuff, and responsibility means not messing up. Said, now you remember what your mom told you about privilege.
Wabbit.
Huh, that's funny. And responsibility, said Papa Bear as Sister started off for Lizzie Bruins. Oh, I will, Papa. I will. But Sister wasn't very far along the road to Lizzie's house before she began thinking about all the fun and excitement she was going to have at the party. It didn't take long for those thoughts to push Mama's advice about privilege and responsibility clear out of her head. Another interesting thing about telephones is that they help news to travel fast, especially news about parties. Anna told her other friends about the slumber party, and they told their friends. Millie did the same. Pretty soon, clubs from all over the neighborhood were calling Lizzie and asking if they could come to the party. Said, sure, but bring some popcorn or soda. We don't want to run out. Too Tall Grizzly didn't hear about the party by phone. We heard about it when he and his gang went to show Queenie his new music player. A slumber party. he said to his friends. Sounds like fun. How are we going to get invited to a girls' party? Asked one of them. We're not going to get invited, silly. We're going to crash, music and all. Later, when the rest of the bear family had settled down for a quiet evening at home, Mama Bear sighed and said, I'm sure she'll be up all night. And of course she will, said Papa Bear. After all, Sister's a well-behaved little cub, and Mr. and Mrs. Bruin have a lovely, well-run home and are responsible, careful parents. No
Look.
doubt about it.
Look, he's just making T-Rex.
He sure is. There was only one problem. Mr. and Mrs. Bruin weren't home. They had gone out for the evening and had let Lizzie in the care of a teenage sitter who wasn't much older than some of Lizzie's friends. The Bruins hadn't planned on a slumber party when Lizzie had asked if a few friends could sleep over. And they certainly hadn't planned on a rip-roaring, ear-splitting, popcorn-throwing, soda-squirting party for half the cubs in the neighborhood, because that was what was happening with Sister right in the thick of it. The only thing that wasn't happening at the slumber party was slumber. Lizzie's sister tried to keep things under control, but she couldn't even make herself heard over the noise. You never heard such a commotion. Some neighbors up the road had never heard such a commotion either. They called the police. The chief sent Officer Marguerite to the investigation. She reached the Bruins' house at the same time Mr. and Mrs. Bruin were returning home. Well, things calmed down pretty quickly after that. The party was canceled, parents were called, Lizzie was sent to bed, and an angry and disappointed Mama Bear came to take Sister home. I'm angry and disappointed, said Mama Bear as they walked home through the night. After all the things I pointed out about privilege and responsibility, Sister was grounded and sent to bed, doubly grounded, which meant she had to stay in her room for a day and in the house for a week. A pretty harsh punishment, said Papa Bear. Not harsh at all, said Mama. You should have seen the Bruins' living room. Popcorn stuck to everything. Soda all over the place, lamps knocked over. It was an absolute disgrace. And after all I said about privilege and responsibility. Well, Sister does have to share the blame, said Papa. But she didn't do it all by herself. It was one of those situations where one thing leads to another and things get out of control. But you know, my dear, privilege and responsibility aren't just for cubs. They're for parents too. Cushions are all strewn about, said Mama. It's a privilege to have cubs, and with privilege goes responsibility, said Papa. So we're partly to blame too. When Lizzie invited Sister to go to the slumber party, it was our responsibility to call the Bruins. If we had, we'd have found out they were going to be out for the evening, and the whole thing would have been nipped in the bud. The next morning, she canceled the grounding and took Sister over to the Bruins to help clean up. Millie and Quinny had come to help too. I know what, said Lizzie, as full of ideas as ever. Let's make this a cleanup party. Let's not, said Sister. And if you don't mind, Liz, I don't want to hear the word party again for a long time. The end.
What was the other book?
Which other